Hey everybody, it's Amanda with Tap Mom and the Bake Brigade. Thank you for tuning into my channel, and welcome back subscribers. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and I hope you will stay. This is the first time I'm re-recording a video. I hadn't done that before. I didn't like the way that last one went, so I just delete. Anyway, this week has been kind of a roller coaster. I've been dealing with some issues with my left leg. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this condition. It's called cellulitis. It's a skin condition that irritates the nerve endings in your skin when it irritates and gets infected. And so I've been dealing with that with my left leg. So I had to go get a shot of antibiotic and steroid and prescription for antibiotics to keep it from getting any worse. It's a very painful condition, and so it makes life a little more difficult. And because of that, I didn't get a whole lot done this week, which I wanted to get done. So it kind of messed with my desire to loom knit, which is what I do. I love yarn of all kinds, and I love to loom knit. I've tried crochet. I just hadn't been able to get the hang of it. But I loom knit with plastic looms, and I do have one wood loom, and I enjoy it very much. Brings me a lot of happiness. I also have two rescue dogs named Theodore and Axel, who are napping across the room on the couch. I call them my lovely couch potatoes. They're also referred to as the Bake Brigade. That's the Bake Brigade part of the title of my channel, and because they are so good at begging when I eat, that we just called them the Bake Brigade. My youngest son coined the phrase, and it just kind of stuck. So that's where that comes from, in case anybody's wondering. Anyway, on this channel, if you hadn't realized, I talk a little bit about my health. I try to cheer you up with a few jokes and talk about yarn, talk about my little small yarn hauls. I can't afford to do big yarn hauls, but small yarn hauls. And I'll talk about what I've knitted, what I've loom knitted, what's going on with me, and try to make you laugh here and there. So, with that being said, let's talk about what I did get done this week. So what I did get done was 3 hats. I'm working on some stuff for a friend of my oldest son's. He's friends with a lot of people, but this young lady just happens to share my first name. So, I can't send her a hat that isn't, worthy of her, because she's got this long, beautiful brown hair. She's a mother of 3 boys, 2 of which are twins, and she's just a beautiful young woman. She's a registered nurse, and I just have an immense amount of respect for this young woman. She's just wonderful. She's a real good friend of my son, and her and her husband are real good friends of my son, and of course her name's Amanda. So she's aces in my book. Yes, indeed. And so I did finally come out with one that I thought was good enough for her, and that was this one. This is garter stitch mostly, except for the top. And I'll show you on Mr. Foamhead what it looks like. Yes, I named him. I give him blue eyes too, so I'm silly too sometimes. I know people think I'm not silly, but I get silly sometimes. But Mr. Foamhead says that it looks pretty good. So it doesn't have an actual brim, which it kind of gives it a softer feel on the head. I would put it on my head, but my hair is, kind of thin, and it would just mess it all up. But this one, I think I'm happy enough for her to wear. I don't have any more of this yarn, but I do have some sweet roll in a gray, because she likes black and gray. I do have sweet roll in a nice gray that I'm going to make her a little cowl to go with this. But here in Louisiana, we don't really get cold enough to wear a lot of scarves or cowls. So this is like a acrylic wool blend. is what this is. So the cowl will just be the regular acrylic, which is a lighter acrylic. So it'll, it'll work. It'll work. Should be good. I'm already started on that scarf. And this is one of them that I did. That ended up, because it's a variegated stripy yarn, it had a white, it had a white part in it. And I just didn't want her to have to deal with that. And so that's why I didn't decide to give her this one. Even though the stitches came out all right. But this part here was just not conducive to to her style. I'll just put it that way. It's not conducive to her style. She likes her blacks and her grays, but she's not into white. So I didn't want to give her this one because of that. But it's a nice hat overall. Very nice hat. But this will probably go into the bag of homeless hats. The hats for the homeless, because I did see a mistake on here. So, and believe me, the hats that I donate to the homeless, they don't care if there's a mistake on it. All they care is it going to keep my head warm. That's all they care about. So, and then I did this one with some big twist and some red heart. Red heart is the sparkle part, the black part, black sparkle yarn, and then big twist is the gray. I don't know if that sparkle comes across in the video. I'll just move it, kind of wave it like that. But it's like a gold sparkle on some black yarn that I have. And it's a rough yarn. That's why I paired it with the big twist medium gray, so that it could make it even a little bit soft. But I don't know. I'm gonna send, when Will goes to give her gifts, I'll send this one with her, just in case she likes it. Because she might like this one. Just because I didn't think this was up to snuff doesn't mean that she won't. So I will send this with the other hat, just in case she likes this one. So there's that. And I have a little bit of a small yarn haul. Me and Johnny, we went, my youngest son, John, who's autistic, 22-year-old son I have. He's about 6'2". Big guy. Nobody messes with you when you hang out with a big guy like him. I promise you. They see him and any bad intentions they had go right out the window. Anyway, so we picked up some yarn yesterday from Micheals. And I got Super Saver Iran Fleck. I got 2 of these. They got 260 yards. It's surprisingly very, very squish and soft. And I just loved the tweed. I like tweed yarn, period. I don't like plain yarn very much unless I'm mixing it with something else. Except for big twist. I can do big twist yarn all day long because it's so soft. And it's usually very economical, because I can't afford expensive yarn. When I give away yarn, it's not expensive yarn, because I can't afford expensive yarn. I don't even know what it would be like to own expensive yarn. So I can't. And then we got some of Michael's, what do they call it? Craft Smart yarn. Because these are beautiful. Look at this blue. This is 252 yards, 4-weight yarn. And this is the tweed, the value tweed. And just look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And let me tell you, when I tell you soft, this is soft. This is as soft as Big Twist from Joann's. This is soft. And that's really saying something, because that's some soft acrylic yarn. When you put it up to your face, it is super, super soft. And it's got these little things in it. And you really have to do some pulling to get it out. I've got a really long thumbnail that really will pull anything out. But when you loom knit, you kind of grow a few nails that are longer than others just for certain purposes. But this is beautiful. I got it in blue. I got 4 in blue and 4 in purple. And that was my yarn haul. And if you've stuck around for this long, I appreciate you. But this is what we got going so far this week. Cellulitis that I had to go get a shot and antibiotics for. and then 3 hats. Normally I would have done more hats or more something in the week, but I haven't felt too good with my leg being messed up. So hopefully that'll be a different story this coming week. And back to physical therapy tomorrow. Physical therapy seems to be like it's going to be on Mondays and Thursdays for the next couple of weeks. And that started to be for my hip. I guess it's mainly for my legs and my back. It definitely has helped the couple of times I've gotten to go when my car didn't let me down. I had some car trouble that I had to cancel physical therapy for the first few times that I was scheduled for it. But that seems to have finally been worked out. I have an ancient Honda Accord. I call Goldie Honda because she is gold. Oh, I got a story. You hear about people accidentally going to the wrong car in the parking lot because they have such a common car. It happened to me yesterday. Me and Johnny are coming out of Micheals, and my car is a 2004 Honda Accord. It's golden color. Very common car. Very common color for that car. And my silly self walks right up to the wrong Honda Accord. And Johnny says, "Mama, that's not your car." He said the seatbelt isn't hanging out of the door at the bottom. And then it hit me. I was like, dang, I do that a lot, don't I? I forget to tuck the seatbelt back into the car when I get out. And I looked down and I was like, you're right. Because I was wondering, why is my key not working? Why is my key not working? And then it dawned on me, this is not my car. So I look over and I said, oh, there's my car. Because, my car is a little rougher than that car. That car was a little too shiny to be my car. My car's been around a little bit. It's been banged on a little bit. Oh, boy. One more little anecdote and then I'll let y'all go. Well, I don't know how many of you are subscribers to Cindy at Pups and Crochet. If you aren't, you should be. But she and I are best friends. And a month or so ago, I had this little green lizard end up in my house. We live in the country, and when you live in the country, sometimes the outside comes on the inside. And there was this little green lizard that I spotted in the hallway near the washer and dryer. And I said, well, aren't you cute? Because he looked just like the Geico lizard, that talks with a British accent. And so I was telling her about it. And I said, I just did any minute expected him to turn around and say, ma'am, do you have some tea and biscuits? With a British accent. Well, her imagination went into overdrive, and she could actually picture this little green lizard doing that, and she just laughed until she cried. Well, it was yesterday or the day before she told me about a dream she had that could only be described as a nightmare. I said, that's not a dream, that's more like a nightmare. And she didn't say anything. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, before you go to sleep, I said, just imagine that he's back outside and that he's under the porch, safe and sound, munching on bugs and chilling out on a nice cool blade of grass. I said, don't think of him as, being in danger or anything like that. He's back outside. Because I promise you, the last time I saw him, he was running behind the couch because I was trying to catch him so I could put him back outside. And I'm not very fast. My oldest son is very fast. He could have caught him, but I couldn't catch him because I had to get gloves because I'm a girl and it's a lizard. Ick. So, but he was running and he ran behind the couch, which is right next to the front door. So I'm assuming that at some point, he took his opportunity and ran out the front door. He was last seen going in that direction. And that's been several weeks ago, so obviously he's outside somewhere. But I told her she should just be happy that he's probably outside and doing fine. Because I haven't seen my dogs with him, because that was my main concern when I found him, was that my dogs didn't find him and eat him. because I didn't want them sick. But anyway, that's my little funny story about the lizard. So if you ever run across a little green lizard, just imagine him turning around and saying, "Do you have any Earl Grey tea and biscuits?" Anyway, thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Please adopt, don't shop. Your best friend is at the shelter waiting on you. I tell you, my big brigade consists of Axel and Theo, and they're my two adopted fur babies, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. Thank you all for praying for me, as I will continue to pray for you all. I hope everyone's having a very happy holiday season. Thank you so much. Bye for now.